Next up, it's Francis, who's going to talk to us on what will I be when I grow up?
What shall I be when I grow up? Options, there are so many options. I could have been a nurse, I could have been a teacher. Well, that's what I thought when I was at primary school. Trouble is, how do you decide? Maybe you look at what your parents do. Maybe someone at school gives a talk so that you've heard of a job. Maybe a mentor suggests possibilities to you. But despite all these options, I couldn't decide. I had friends who knew they wanted to be a nurse, knew they wanted to be a teacher, knew they wanted to be an accountant. I hadn't got a clue. I was in floods of tears. I couldn't decide, and I didn't know how anyone else knew. No idea. I got some careers advice once from some computer system when I was a teenager. It suggested I could be a careers advisor. Struck me I wouldn't know how to do that since I didn't know much about careers and couldn't decide what I wanted to do myself. That wasn't much use. In fact, my advice to anyone who's struggling to decide what they want to be when they grow up is listen, but don't believe a word. Jobs change over time anyway. In 5 years, there'll be different possibilities than there are now. Life's a random walk. But if you learn some basic skill sets, that can open up all kinds of possibilities. So, what are you going to be when you grow up, Fran? I don't know. I still don't know. Perhaps the simplest thing to do is just not grow up. Can we change this question? Stop asking people what they want to be. I want to be a good friend. I want to be kind. I want to be supportive. I think what you're really asking me is what do I want to do? That's easier to answer. I've done many things. Some part-time jobs when I was a kid, some data entry clerk. I'm an ex-maths teacher, an ex-civil servant. Done all kinds of things, but in the last some decades, I've settled in on mainly coding. That's the one skill I learned that's been very kind to me. I have sojourned into academia a few times and frequently end up having to attend meetings, which led to me getting a bit bored in a meeting once and deciding to write a book, part of my random walk through life. What did I do? I learnt to code, and one thing led to another. Accu's been really kind to me by starting at book reviews and then writing some articles. In amongst all this, I stopped and got a PhD. I now edit Accu's Overload magazine. I've given conference talks. Russell Winder invited me to give an Accu keynote once. That was tremendous. I've written a book, which I mentioned. I've made some great friends. I've also got a certificate as a result of one of my talks, proving that I can code my way out of a paper bag, an important skill for any technical person. So, what do you want to do? Do what you love. It might turn out that you end up doing that as a hobby rather than paid employment, which is fine. Write for Overload if you want. Get in touch. Give a lightning talk. Submit a proposal for the next Accu conference or any other conference. Talk at a meetup. Code your way out of a paper bag. Let me know how you did it and I'll send you a signed certificate. Do what you want to do.